now I lost my train of thought. But yes, so all this to say, we found this task force very important, and we want to keep up this kind of work. And we're also trying to reconnect with every member that was on the previous task force. So if you know anyone who'd be interested in coming, please let us know. Shay is compiling a list of people, and we send emails out. We have today about half of the people who RSVP'd are here. So there are a lot of organizations that should be at this table who might still be coming. I mean, as you know, this is a beautiful space, but it is a bit remote. So it could be that people will be still trickling in. But please brainstorm with us. Let us know who else was on the previous group, because I was brand new at the time, so I didn't know a lot of those organizations. And we really want to make sure that everyone who should be at this table is at this table, so that we can make it a very effective organization. Very important, please scan this QR code. It's up here, but it's also by the doors, so we can track who attends. You can do it at any time. It's right there on that stand, so that we know who was here. And then if you need internet, you can, it's also over there on the table. Go to Tenacre guest 1 song 7. It's the password. So quickly, I would like to go through our agenda. So we have a chance for everyone to introduce themselves, so we know who does what and how we can connect. And then we will also have a special update from Tony. There's Tony, your organization was one of the sponsors of the Second Chance conference in New Jersey. Excellent conference, very powerful. So we want to hear a bit more about that from you. And that was last Monday. Then we also want to hear a quick update from Janet Porter about the Trenton Expungement information session that you held. So when your turn comes, introduce yourself. If you could just give us a quick update on these events, that would be great. Then we will be hearing from Ms. Valisha Desir about the Glory Firm and the expungement workshops that you will be holding and the important work that is happening with you. And then the important part of this gathering is to talk about the 3 areas of reentry. So we will be talking about pre-release, release, and then reentry. We will be creating 3 groups and dividing into those groups to discuss a few more in-depth questions and then come back together to discuss our findings. So if you have an area that your organization focuses on, you can go into that group, and we'll go a bit more into depth about that in a moment. Finally, we will be asking for any events that you might have coming up to make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on in the community and that we can all support each other and attend, and most importantly, refer our clients or participants to the different programs that are taking place. Because it's wonderful if you're doing something, no one knows about it, not so great. And we have that same issue. We try to get word out. So this is a powerful tool to get word out about what's going on in the community. And I hope everyone takes advantage of it. And as you've seen already, the emails that have been sent out by Shay have already provided flyers of events that are coming up and the expungement events that will be happening. So please make sure that you add your events to this also. So shall we start? Tony, Courtney, let's start with you with introductions. Or do you want me to start with Leroy? Leroy, sorry, it's you. Yeah, I guess we will give. Do you want this to be handed down? Yes. Oh, it's not, it's for recording.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. My name is Leroy Brown. I'm here on behalf of the WorkWell Partnership. I am one of the board members there. Part of my job, my responsibilities at WorkWell is to help with the Saturday morning job training program. So men and women who are returning citizens, we help them with resume writing, job interview skills, and most importantly, teach them how to own their story in an interview to show their value to prospective employers. So I'm thankful for Shay and Jeanette for allowing me the opportunity to speak here, and like to bring some value to the program. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Juan Rowland. I'm the president of the Empowerment House, a nonprofit organization within the city of Trenton. As far as the reentry is concerned, where we fit in that, we are definitely hands-on, feet on the ground, with the support of the Returning Citizens Office, the C Center, Ms. Janet Porter. We just focusing on education with workshops on anger management. We also have the ability to do financial literacy, workforce development, and substance use education. I'm honored to be here today. This is like almost like a dream come true in the sense of collaborating and networking. This is a powerful, I could just sense that this is a powerful situation, and Empowerment House would love to be a part of this. And again, because we can't do it alone, right? And like you said, you can have the best idea if no one shows up, and it's almost like you got to go back and put it in your drawer and go back out in the playing field. But I'm blessed to be here. Thank you guys, and let's get it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Valisha Desir. I'm the managing partner of the Glory Firm, and I've also partnered with Mercer County in the Mercer Path Forward programming, where we are helping to clear records. And so far, we've served 55 people in the past 2 months. So I'm really excited about that. And we want to continue this work. So we want to work with you guys to send people our way so that we can do complete eligibility assessments and hopefully submit their petitions if they're eligible. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is James Graham. I'm from Children's Futures. I'm the Fatherhood and Community Service Coordinator there. I help with fathers who are returning. We do parenting education classes. We do case management services, and we connect fathers to different organizations such as yourselves who need the barriers broken down that they're dealing with. So I'm very happy to be here. I was invited by Shay, and I told him this is something that I've always have been inspired to be a part of. So I'm here to support each and every one of you, and I'll be passing out my cards. Thank you for having me.
Hello, my name is Andrea Curtin. I'm the manager of client services for Workwell. I've been there for about a year, but I've been providing services in Mercer County for about 20. As far as my role in the reentry, Workwell helps with returning citizens to get employment. My job specifically is not the employment piece, but I provide the wraparound services, because we all know if you don't have a place to stay, if you don't have food, if you don't have health insurance, you're not going to be very successful with working. So, excuse me, I have really bad allergies today. But that's pretty much what I do. And thank you for inviting me. And I look forward to working with you.
Amen.
Hola, I'm Pastora Karen. And in 2021, we started the Trenton Microloan Collaborative. 9 returning citizens have been blessed by our support, either pro bono, accounting, bookkeeping work, or micro loans. I have to stand up and show off the things I have purchased from one of our recipients, the hat, the cross, the belt. That same person benefited from getting a Mercer County $10,000 grant and is currently in the process of being awarded almost a $20,000 business loan. So I'm happy to be here doing this good work with all of you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Janet Porter. I'm with the City of Trenton, the C Center. I am the director of the Office of Returning Citizens. I have a history of working with returning citizens. In 1992, Mayor Douglas H. Palmer, the first African-American mayor of the City of Trenton, had what we call the Mayor's Office of Employment and Training. And I had the pleasure of working in that office. That office was very successful with helping people to reintegrate into the community. And as I look at the 3 areas that you have here on the sheet, our office works with release and reintegration services. So I am looking forward to working and collaborating with all of you. This is something that we need throughout Mercer County and Trenton specifically, since most of the people that are returning from institutions in Mercer County are in the city of Trenton. So I am elated on behalf of my director. She sends her greetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Nafisa Goldsmith, and I must say I am really excited to be here in this space with you all. When we talk about returning citizens, I can say that those are my people. Currently, I am the community outreach specialist for the Department of Corrections, but nonetheless, it was my advocacy and the voice bringing that to the attention of other New Jerseyans around the atrocities that have happened in our state facilities, to know that we have individuals here who are working to not only improve the lives of individuals who are returning, but who are also giving them the hope that they need to be able to leverage themselves forward. So everything that you are committed to, I'm committed to. And so I'm glad to be in this space with you. Thank you.
Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Ed Green. I am, I guess retired, but Shay has taken me beyond that point. I currently serve on the board of Young Audiences of New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania, which is an organization that serves children and families around the visual and performing arts as a way of bringing people together and exposing them to arts through learning. And also, just before coming here, I was in a meeting with a new project, which I'm hoping will have some traction here, called Trenton Solar. There's a job development training program that's going to be created. And one of the people who is working with us, along with Pastor Taylor, is Assemblyman Varelli. So he was at our last meeting, so it's nice to see that coming together. And it's a pleasure and honor to be here. And to see ways in which I can help connect the dots and roll up my sleeves and be of service.
Thank you, Ed. My name is Kevin McLaren. I'm the president of, I don't know if I should stand, I guess stand or whatever, of Lambit Data. We're a platform and software app solution. First, I'd like to thank Ed for inviting me. He's actually one of our advisors on our board. It's an interesting story about our platform. Our platform originally it's an engagement solution, right, to connect social service providers and community health centers, right, to participants and patients. And what we discovered very quickly is that there was two areas that, and each of these really engaging much more with mentors, case managers, right? Recovery and reentry were two big areas that really we found had a nice fit. So just as an example, one of the pilots that we're working is with Rikers, with the reentry for women, and coming along nonprofit organizations, coming along mentors. So our job as a platform is to provide a collaborative, engaging platform. So, and it starts in the facility, in the transition, and when they get home. So we're actually at all three. So love to talk to you, Commissioner. But all the politics aside, I'm very blessed to be here just to listen, to learn from you guys. But yeah, that's what we're doing. You know, we're really focused on the reentry recovery space. There's connected. So just love to be here. That's it.
Morning, y'all. I'm Mary Euler. I'm with the Trenton Area Soup Kitchen. I am the employment support specialist. I help people find jobs. Of course, our number one mission is to feed people. So if you're hungry, come for lunch, or I gave you all a listing of where our food truck is going to be. So we've had people sample it and the food's good. Trust me, the food's good. But I'm focused on pre-release services because successful reentry starts before release.
Morning, everybody. My name is Lenny Ward, and I represent the State Parole Board. Previously, my career started as a parole officer. That's probably the most important job that justifies my being here. The rest of it is more about how we were able to advance parole in relationship to receiving or providing reentry services on the outside. I just want to clarify, though, that the vast majority of the individuals that you will be serving predominantly were going to probably come out of the county jail. There are thousands of those individuals that come out during the course of a given year. The state prisoners come out over the course of a year, but in Trenton or Mercer County, the numbers are probably going to be less than 600 to 1,000, contrary to popular belief. But I just want to be able to mention that we'll be here as a resource. Myself or someone else will represent the division. I am retired. I retired as director of the Division of Parole 8 years ago. I now work as external affairs for my chairman, as Nafisha works for external affairs for her commissioner. So it's a pleasure to be here representing parole. And I'm going to leave business cards in case anybody has any questions regarding parole related items. Please get hold of me. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Tony Hayes, works Salvation and Social Justice in the capacity of the Restorative Housing Coordinator, but under that umbrella, work predominantly with returning citizens. With respect to, and I'll talk about the other thing in a minute, but with respect to housing, food insecurity, employment, referral, and placement, I work with returning citizens, but I also work with the Haitian immigrant population, which is growing rapidly in our community, Mercer County particularly. So I place people in jobs with Capitol Health, Department of Labor. Also just last week, 9 people got certified to do forklift training. This is all above and beyond what I do with the organization. I just saw a need. So we also have a transitional house, which we just started about 2 months ago. So we have 4 gentlemen that can live in the house. 2 are in there currently. I oversee that house as well. We're going to have another one, and it's going to be for women coming home, because we understand the need for housing to be a foundation for anything else. Even when you're out there struggling and trying to get something done with respect to employment, food, and everything, you still want to be able to come to a place where you can rest your head and rethink things, process things, and so on and so on. So that's what we're trying to do as well through a housing. That notwithstanding, with that type of housing, transitional housing, we also place people in housing who are coming home for whether it be they have a place they can rent. So we subsidize that through grants that we're able to obtain through New Jersey LEAD and other entities. We also go inside the prison to engage individuals prior to their release. So that's on a schedule, regular schedule. Each month we're inside the prisons as well. We're also navigating the space of working with Dan Benson to get into the county jails, which is what he referred to, because there's a larger contingent of people who are in and out in a rapid period of time. So we're going to be working closely with him with regard to that. Salvation and Social Justice is a broader organization other than what I'm doing. This is my office that does what we do, but they do advocacy as well as a number of other things in the community. If anybody knows of or knows personally Reverend Boyer, then you know what we do. All right. Just look him up and you'll see all the things that we do as an organization and as a church, because he's my pastor and my boss. So also getting back to what Jeanette's talked about briefly, we had a conference which Salvation Social Justice was part of sponsoring up in Montclair. It was 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. all day. And it was about Second Look, New Jersey, which some people may have heard of, some people haven't, but it's specifically about people who have been incarcerated for 20 to 30 years, 20 years in the case of anything that involve a murder. If it's murder, it's going to be 30 years. And got a good institutional record, things like that. And cutting it short, it's other criteria as well. But you have the opportunity to, reviewed by a judge to take a second look at your sentence, because especially for those who came in when they were younger, 15, 16, 17, 18, and you might be able to have the opportunity to have your sentence commuted, so to speak, reduced, time served, however you want to phrase it, and then get out sooner than the time that you've been given to serve. So that's what that was about. But a number of the things that took place where we had a number of breakout sessions. Nafisa was part of one as well. We have returning. The thing about this space now, you have a lot of returning citizens who are in positions of either running something like this as a forum, a coalition, an organization, who are having an impactful presence with the things that we all do. I'm also retired, but I avail myself to all of this stuff as well. So I have a passion for it. But we had a number of breakout sessions. I sent the information to it was a little bit late. Shay got it for everybody. This coalition will always get flyers and things like that I come across, so you can have the opportunity to participate in something like that. There was a wealth of information conveyed, as well as what you know these things are, is always networking opportunities as well. So the people that were there was New Jersey Public Defender, the Attorney General was there, people representing the corrections, people representing parole, people representing organizations. So it was a lot to be there all day. So that was great. So that's just a snippet of what I do and what we do as an organization. And happy to be here. Jeanette invited me and others from my office, and so I'm grateful to be here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Morgan. I'm the Chief Development Officer at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Mercer County. You mentioned how you fit in here. I still trying to figure out how I fit in here. But I originally came into the conversations just based on knowing that I felt like my network, I could liaise meetings and try to connect people so that, that we had different platforms to share the message. But since being in, we've really looked at the different parts. I think Valisha mentioned 55 people. That's 55 families, right? That's 55 families impacted. And that's where we can come in to help out. We can provide services for their children, especially if they're struggling to try to make ends meet and they're stressing about things. This is one more component that they can try to feel like is taken care of. There's someone that is there to support them and their family. So we're excited to be able to participate in that manner. So again, this group to me, I'm the voice sometimes that says something that I noticed just from a distance. I really am the outsider looking in on a lot of the stuff. Some of the things that you do are so heavy. I really respect everyone's role here. It's hard to leave that at work. So I really appreciate what you're doing. And if I'm ever mentioning anything or trying to call out something, it's something that I've noticed that's being done maybe in one section and not in the other. There's been a lot of disconnect in the past. And it feels like we're really starting with these last two meetings to make a step forward on that disconnect. So super excited about, where this has gone and where it's going.
I realized I didn't introduce myself when I started the meeting. So my name is Jeanette Risk, and I'm the Executive Director of the Workwell Partnership. And we have been doing that work for about 3 years now. Leroy is one of our wonderful board members, and he gave a bit of background on the courses that we give 8 times a year. So it's a 4-week course, and the focus is to get employed and preparing them with life and job skills. And I'd say almost everyone in this we work with, and we depend on the work you do to do our work well. So thank you.
Right. Hi, my name's Kim Cody. I am the Chief Operating Officer for the James R. Halsey Foundation of the Arts. We are a film and media program for youth in Trenton, but we are working with many of the juveniles throughout the state. So we are engaged because obviously when they get out, we want to make sure that they're successful. So that's why we're involved.
Good morning, all. My name is Halbert Clark. Currently, I work in New York. Yay! I got one fan, but I'm the program director for 100 Black Men Inc. in New York. I'm the program director there, and what we work with men ages 18 to 29, Black and Latinx, who have been just as involved and just as impacted. My previous career, or shall I say what I've done since retiring in 2016, I worked on Rikers Island. And what I did out there was help in the housing unit, Old Boy, AMKC, NIC, West facility, all those facilities, helping folk to, one, get home and not recidivate, right? It's important work to do it, to give them a chance to understand the psychology of incarceration, the mind study. What does it mean? Because incarceration is not the facility nor the building. It's you and your mindset. So once we could change that, and we could rewrite the narrative and reconstruct what has been deconstructed. So why am I here from New York? because with NAACP, I'm also the co-chair of the Criminal Justice Committee out here in Trenton. So what we do here, I do there, as well as bring systems, programs, ideas, ideologies, talk with folk about what it is to do. I want to close with saying I am finishing up my doctoral thesis, which is about the community. What are we doing in our community? You know, as a pastor of men, I talk to the younger brothers, the older brothers, and we talk about life. But see, understand this, and the greater part of it is, what do we do when we get home? Where do you go when you get home? And in New York, in NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority, Halbert has a felony. He can't even go to his apartment with his family. So now I'm released, but what am I doing? Where am I going? I'm going to recidivate. You might as well know it. So some of the things we're doing out here is to bring some of the narrative out, share some of the information, and look for differences and be in the position to make a difference in the lives of those that we serve. So I'm happy to be here. I'm willing to share information. I don't really carry cards. I use Hi, Hello, or Blink because I got a basement full of business cards. I can't remember where they are, who they for, and anything else. So if I get it on the Hi, Hello, or the Blink, I'll be in much better position to respond. And I want to offer in closing, if you need me for any services, I'm not looking for no pay. I got enough systems, I got enough programs that we can come together and bring together and collaborate. Is that all right? Looking to collaborate, looking to grow. Bless you. God bless you. Sister also.
Yeah, you're up.
Yay.
Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Chelsea Tanner and I am with Morph Mentoring. I love coming to these meetings. I'm sorry I was late. I am all about collaborating to elevate as well, but with Morph Mentoring, we're a part of the Mercer County Mercer Path Forward program. And so, and it's growing rapidly because now Keene University also asks us to partner to take it to other counties. And so this program is basically to help the returning citizens or anybody impacted by the social justice system to get into the workforce or entrepreneurship, because some of them don't have an outlet to go into the workforce if they can't get certain things off of their records and things of that nature. And that's where Glory Firm, we partner with Glory Firm and we partner with the county, and we're starting to partner with all of you. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I don't want to overspeak, but that's who I am and that's where I'm from.
And I am Courtney. I think I know many of you here, a few new faces, but thank you. I'm really just a volunteer with this group. I don't belong to any particular organization. I did want to take a moment just to bring you through, because we have so many new faces, just kind of tell you how this all started and the mission and just kind of get everyone on the same page. So the group has been meeting since October of 2023. And really the idea was to, as you've all said, just to make sure that we're doing the work and having an impact on the individuals. We can't do it alone. So trying to create a forum, a forum for everyone to kind of get together to share what they're doing so that we can kind of close some of the gaps and figure out what else needs to be done to kind of support this community. We have the mission statement of the group. Actually, let me go back. So we've been calling ourselves the Mercer County Reentry Coalition. And the goal of the coalition is really to provide the skills and resources to help justice-involved individuals remake, reclaim, and restart their lives. The group really is about boots on the ground and not talking about the problem, but providing solutions by working collaboratively. So I think that's where the group tries to be a little bit different from other coalitions.
Wait a minute, did you even introduce yourself? Okay. Um, so I will kind of sort of introduce this gentleman here. This is Shay. A few of you know Shay. Really, Shay and Jeanette together really got this group off the ground. And if you don't know Shay, Shay is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I say at every meeting I say, and I will continue to say it. I mean, Shay has a day job, but the amount of effort that he puts into the work of this group, because it's very personal, very personal to him. You know, he's very committed. So just want to thank Shay, and I will have you come and actually introduce yourself. But in terms of, the way the coalition is starting to frame itself, we've kind of looked at there being three buckets of effort, I'll say. So there's the pre-release, and really the goal there is to make sure that, whether it's 60 days, 120 days, I know some organizations kind of focus on like 3 months before, but before someone's released, what do we need to do as a coalition to make sure that individuals have the support that they need? And Mary has put together a workbook. Mary's prior life in California, she found that a workbook was helpful. So, we're looking at pre-release. Who are the players, the organizations in the room that really fit into that bucket? And what are the tools that we collectively need to provide to an individual to kind of start them off on the right foot? And then we move into, oh, okay, that's fine. And then release. So again, the programs and resources needed by returning citizens immediately after release. So someone said, if you don't have a house, you can't stay with your family. If you don't have a house, that's a problem. So, when you're taking care of those problems and identifying those issues, that's the focus of, we'll call like bucket 2. And then finally, we're calling reintegration. And those are the programs, resources, and opportunities needed by returning citizens to be fully reintegrated into society. So, and I think, and really looking at that holistically, like Josh said, and I was also having a conversation this morning, it's the individuals, but it's also their families, and thinking about things that way. So what we're trying to do in the group is to be thoughtful about the spectrum of services and support that are needed, trying to figure out what are those tools that are needed, who are the right players to provide those tools, and how to support one another. And I'm actually just going to call Shay to introduce himself. Do I have one more? I think I'm good.
Before we bring up Valisha, did your updated document, did you have that with you? Okay, I think what we have is. Oh, thanks. All right. So I'm Shay Ola, as Courtney was kind enough to introduce him with JP Morgan Chase. You're probably wondering, what does JP Morgan Chase have to do with reentry? But I must say, in my particular role here in Mercer County, I'm a community development manager for Chase. And a lot of the work that I do is really kind of finding the pain points in the community and really trying to see how I can leverage the resource of JP Morgan Chase to help those particular causes. This particular cause is near and dear to me because I have people in my family that have been justice involved or impacted. And also, too, most importantly, JP Morgan Chase as a company has been at the forefront in the corporate space, really leading the charge in championing second chance employment opportunities through the people we hire as a company, to the work we do in advocacy, as well as research. So Chase actually has a policy center that is dedicated to do research, to find those data points, to really build the business case and the human case for returning citizens. And I've been really proud of that work and being able to contextualize that here in the capital of our state, right? It's very important. And so Jeanette was the main culprit that really kind of brought me on. I was just doing financial literacy workshops with her in the community. And I said, hey, I see a gap in communication. And that's one thing you probably hear people say over and over again. The culture in Mercer County, and I don't think it's just unique to Mercer County, sometimes things can be siloed, right? We all have our things that we're doing, and everybody can say amen to that because we all know that's real. Like people are just doing things. It doesn't mean that we don't want to talk to each other or collaborate, but sometimes we can get myopic in the mission that we're chasing, and we don't look up to see who else can help us. But it takes a community to do this work. You can't do it alone. Trust me on that one, right? I think we all can believe that. And that's why we're here in this room today, because we believe that together we can do the work or make it about the people. I say do the work and make it about the people. It's not about my grants. It's not about my organization. It's about the people we're trying to serve. And so if we make it about that, we'll let go of all the the divisions and the things and say, how do we collaborate and work together? And that's why we're here in this room. And I want to really encourage you guys, just lean into this. And we're going to continue to do great work together. So to that point, we have great partners in the room, and we always try to do our best to highlight different people at different times. We had Assemblyman Varelli last time. This time around, we're going to have Valisha from the Glory firm to share with us a little bit about the expungement process. She's an attorney. She's worked greatly in this space. And I thought that it could be helpful for us to hear from her and some of the updates in the state. You guys probably just saw recently, there was some updates around expungement. So kind of get an understanding of some of the process and helping us as we're helping the people in our communities. Valisha, you have the floor. You want to come stand over here? Okay, I can get you a podium. You good? All right. Give her a round of applause, please. Got it. You got it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys. All right, so that's me. So my name is Valisha Desir. I graduated from Seton Hall Law School some time ago. And so I want to give context to the expungement process here in the state, because it seems like it's gotten bigger or more publicity in the past few years, whereas before we weren't hearing much about the expungement process. So why is that? The reason why is because cannabis became, oh yes. Oh, talk loud. Okay. Okay. Yes. So, in considering why the expungement process has become sort of a big thing right now, in 2021, cannabis was legalized here in this state. Multi-state operators, or MSOs, New Jerseyans didn't want large out-of-state companies coming into the state because they wanted small businesses and even our own larger businesses to have the opportunity to benefit from cannabis being legalized. So the Cannabis Regulatory Commission decided that the multi-state operators coming in needed to have social justice programming. Their social justice programming, so when they started coming in, they started saying, hey, can we put on expungement clinics? This is what started to create the backlog that we are now facing here, because the MSOs started processing expungements. So imagine in 2021, 22, 23, once a month, there's an expungement clinic in 4 different counties. Let's say you help around about 20 folks each time, and that might just be one MSO. Imagine that multiplied. So this creates a backlog. On top of that, when cannabis was legalized, the smaller cannabis convictions were expunged in masse. So that was about 365,000 convictions expunged from people's records electronically. So that's a huge backlog that the state police sort of had to figure out, like, holy crap, what are we going to do? How are we going to, process these? The next part I want to talk about is the process of expungement. So it begins with submitting an application or a petition electronically. The next step is the prosecutor will review the petition, and then it moves forward to the judge if there is no objection or we have resolved whatever the prosecutor is requesting. It goes to the judge, then the judge, this is going to be a happy example, will grant the petition. Then the last step is it goes to the state police, and the state police must now seal the record, which means they physically remove it from one place in their vault to another. And then they go into the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They have this database, and they also seal the record electronically. That's like a sort of overview of the process. So as we come down to, if you look on your sheet, so the way that we all can serve our participants, our clients, is on the sheet. And when someone comes to you and says, well, okay, I'm 5 years out, I haven't been involved with the justice system in 5 years or 10 years, which are our two numbers. You want to keep those in the back of your mind. 5 years, if you have one indictable, you can expunge one indictable and 2 disorderly persons, which means if someone has a 2nd degree, 3rd degree, 4th degree, 1st degree charge on their record, that is an indictable here in the state. We don't have felonies here in Jersey. We call them indictables. If you have 0 indictables, but you have a bunch of disorderly persons, which are municipal violations, you can remove 3 of them. If that's what a record looks like, then after 5 years of your fines being paid, you've been released from custody, and you are no longer on probation or parole, you can submit a petition for expungement. Most folks have an amalgamation of convictions. So they might have 2 indictables and maybe 3 DPs, in which case we'll go and we want to pursue a clean slate expungement, which means if it's been 10 years from the day that your fines have been paid off, you've been released from custody or custody, and you've been released from parole or probation, at that point, you can file a clean slate and it will clear out your entire record. So when your participants come to you, you kind of have an idea of what to ask them. How long has it been is the most important question since you've been involved in the justice system. If they're telling you, I just paid all my fines recently, then this might serve a problem for you because it's 5 years from when the fines were paid. You also want to advise your participants and your clients that the court is going to be requesting documents from them more than likely. So the electronic system I won't complain about it. I'm grateful for it, right? It streamlines the process. It makes it easier, but it also has a few kinks. So it may not pull up every conviction that the person has, especially if it predates the year 2000. So you want to advise clients, if you're thinking about an expungement, if someone that you know is seriously considering pursuing that, you want to make sure that they have the ability to go down to the municipal court, call down the superior court, and get some of your documents, your certifications of disposition, judgments of conviction. All these things will be helpful because we'll upload them to the portal and submit it to the prosecutor for review as part of their application process. Also consider sharing that prosecutors like to ask for letters of recommendation. So if you're working with clients and they are, satisfying whatever the requirements are of your program, if you're open to it, you can offer yourself as a person who will write a letter of recommendation. I've met this person in such and such year. They're great. They're compliant. I've seen their passion, their commitment to growth and to development. And so that could also help buttress their application and support them. Okay. A lot of clients don't remember what their convictions are. Sometimes they happen a long time ago and they've sort of been trucking along since that time. So the most important thing clients need is their docket number. If they don't have it, they can call down to the municipal court, give their first and last name and birthday, and they can get at least one docket number, which helps attorneys when we process the expungements, search them, pull up their criminal history from New Jersey, and conduct an eligibility assessment so that we can sort of move along their petition and their process. On this piece of paper, I want to email out the updated version of this. This doesn't have the list of non-expungible convictions, which would be good to know, sort of to keep in the back of your mind. And they're the big ones, right? Sex crimes against children, robbery, arson, treason. I want to call your attention to something important. We live in a technological age. Children and young people are engaged in grown-up activities, and sometimes they film those activities. So if you have children, if you have, I don't know, nieces, nephews, whoever, and they're under 18, that charge is not expungible in New Jersey. So if somebody is sharing video or depictions of sexual activity involving people who are under the age of 18, it never goes away. So you really want to, you know, please, we want to protect the kids. You want to keep them out of jail. So I want to call your attention to that. And the last thing is, it's very important that we were talking about pre-release earlier. So if you're working with a pre-release population, when they come out, have them begin to think about a payment plan for their fines. Because they'll already be out, so their clock starts potentially the day they come out. They won't be in custody anymore. Let's say they're not on probation, right, when they come out, which is fantastic. But the clock also starts when that fine is paid. So when you come in contact with folks who have been inside, and you know that they want to clear their record down the line, as somebody who's supporting their journey, talk to them and say, hey, let's discuss a payment plan and when you're going to be able to pay off these fines. So that way, the 5 years or the 10 years comes faster, right? So, and I know, like, people get out of jail and they've got so many things that they need to address, and there's so many important things. But I would really encourage that go on the list. How can we find money to pay fines? And then what is our plan? Like, when do we start working? When do we get a job? Do we have a payment plan set up? Are we in contact with the courts to set up a plan? And, you know, as the information is shared with your folks, they can share it with their folks, right? So the information is going out and it's being multiplied. So that's it in a nutshell. I hope that gave you sort of, yes, Courtney, yes.
Why would an individual have to wait? So after you pay your fines, then you can start the expense. But that to me logically doesn't make sense. And like, I imagine the rest of you understand this, but I don't. So Courtney's released from jail and I'm having trouble finding a job. And like, doesn't this all stand in the way of me being able to get a job to pay off the fines?
Yes. So as I've been doing this work, I come to the understanding that the drafting of this piece of legislation, I just don't believe it was drafted to actually reintegrate those folks into our society in a meaningful way. Maybe they drafted it to check off a box. I don't know. But that is important. Now, there is a mechanism by which, like, I have a few clients right now who do have fines. I'm going to put their petition through. And there is a portion of the law where I can argue that if they've started to pay, if they want a payment plan, the court will convert the fines into a judgment against them. This is also not great because it means you've got a lien against you, right? You owe, you've got to pay it. But it is an argument that I'm starting to make to see how far I can get. Typically, prosecutors see fines and they write me back and say, this person hasn't paid their fines, they've got to pay their fines, and they've got to wait 5 years. I'm kicking this back. So that's the challenge that I'm facing. So I'm hoping that, especially in Mercer County has been in communication with the prosecutor's office. And so they know we're here, they know the work that we're doing. And so we're trying to see if they will work with us in pushing these petitions through to the judge so that we can get some petitions granted, even if we have to compromise. And I've got to accept that my client's going to have a judgment against them sort of fiscally, in that way. But it depends on how much is owed, if they have the money to pay, if they even have a job to begin to pay. If I have to worry about where I'm going to live, I can't pay a fine, in no matter the form that it's in, But to end on a lighter note, oh yes, someone.
How complex is it? For most, I'm pretty sure everyone knows this, but I have to say it. We've been supporting prison slavery. So all those decades of serving, they've been working their butts off, but they haven't been making any money enough money to then come out and pay their fines.
Yeah.
What size fines are you seeing? Are we talking thousands, tens of thousands?
Yes. I would say like the median falls around that like $1,300 mark, $800 to about $1,300. Then it can go up. I've seen like $10,000, and then it can be as low as a few hundred. People that have issues with their car, say they've gotten arrested several times, they've gotten several tickets. That's where a lot of the fines are concentrated. And the prosecutor's office will look into the vehicular fines and then basically justify the objection to the petition based on vehicular fines. Even though the statute doesn't necessarily point to vehicular fines being a deterrent to the granting of an expungement petition, prosecutors are also, yes. I'm going to start with Nafessa and then I'll go to you two. Is that okay? Okay.
Thank you. Just for clarity,
Yes. Okay. So most of your clients will probably have drug charges, CDS charges on their record. If you have a third or fourth degree CDS charge, the first thing is the attorney is going to have to draft a compelling circumstances argument. And this is good for you guys to know. So when you're talking with your clients, you can know the things that they need to have in the back of their head, which is you'll need to explain, why do you want an expungement? Most of the time it'll be, I want a better life. I want a better option for employments, things like that. Indictables in this state can have first, second, third, or fourth degree attached to it. And that sort of, for drug charges, the more quantity you have, the higher, which is the majority of convictions. If you're in the degrees, this is an indictable. Sometimes you are arrested for an indictable, but you're not convicted of it. If it's not a conviction, we can go ahead and expunge it. It is, so sometimes you'll see clients with a criminal history where they've got a bunch of arrests, but 0 convictions. Or they've got a bunch of arrests, but only 1 conviction. At first glance, this is intimidating. Oh my gosh, like this is your record. But if you look closer, oh, okay, you don't have any convictions. These are all a bunch of arrests. Then we can go ahead and submit a petition. Juvenile records, I'm just going to throw this in your ear, can be expunged after 3 years. So as adults, that is removed when we submit the petition. And that comes apart. Yes, I'm going to go to you after I go to Mr. Brown and Mr. Yeah.
one, so you say you got convicted of a diet, then you say, it's multiple, you cannot get it expunged.
You have to wait 10 years for multiple indictables. As long as you don't have a non-expungible conviction on your record. Okay.
Fines to qualify. What happens when it has child support?
That's a good question. It's in the statute, it should not be considered. I have yet to see a prosecutor come to me and say this person owes child support. I'm not going, I'm objecting. Thank God, knock on wood, right? But it's in your client's best interest, get all of that stuff situated because we just don't want a prosecutor digging too deep and finding excuses not to push it forward. Go ahead.
And try to get your training grant in Introductory. So make sure you come and join us. We'll be there at Princeton County, James Parent Campus, at 102 South Broad. That's Tuesday, June 11, 10 a.m. to 3, and also the job.
We're hosting the job.
So there you go. So we will be a part of that. We are glad to see some of those. I want to share that first. The question I have for you though is with regards to marijuana and this new issue, right? Old or new, in that the release of full food was involved, but the understanding that now it's legal at 21 and above, not 18, not 19, not 20, 21 and above. How or what have you seen in terms of your office? What type of work, what type of situation, issues are occurring with that? Are they being released? Are they being handled that now overwhelming? You know, I asked that question because I have a grandson. I have folk that we involved with, I see in different groups that we have, and I want to make sure we give them the right information. And I told with the DUI, driving under influence, I could be coming down the highway, you made a right turn and it didn't put a signal. I could pull you over there by smell. I didn't say you did it. I just said I can now pull you in because of that. So we get released, but then we get put up with stuff that we may not be aware of. Have you in your office seen any work with that going on? Anything growing with that? Anything where folks need to be made aware so we can share this information in our network?
Okay, that's a good question. The first thing is this. I have noticed that there are several townships, especially in the North Jersey area, police officers have been advised that if they smell marijuana, to ignore it. They've been advised to ignore it. If they pull you over and the smell of marijuana is in your car, they are now discouraged from putting that in the police report or the ticket. Oh, I smell something. However, we have our street pharmacists. So neighbors are now watching their other neighbors more closely. And there have been a few cases where folks are growing the plant in their home, which is not yet legalized in this state. And police are called, people are charged. So we're sort of hopefully moving away from vehicular stops. But now if you've got a nosy neighbor and you love the plant, you're an enthusiast of the plant, whatever the case, and it's in your home, I would caution you to be careful about that and the people that you're connected to. Because there's a case right now down in Ocean County where they picked up a guy with $100,000 in cash, several pounds of marijuana. He was growing, a pretty decent amount. And Ocean County is refusing to work with him. They're refusing to give him any grace. So, you know, these are the thoughts you want to have, especially young people. Caution your young people, advise them to be careful and to use wisdom. Yes. He will, you get a ticket if you're under 21 and they smell it, it's a ticket. Okay. So yeah. Yes, I understand. Yes. Yes, Andrea and then Nefessa. Three years.
The non-judicial involvement, they can't have any involvement with police for those next 3 years.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It is supposed to be a verbal warning. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Now, is that how it plays out? If you're black and brown, it's probably not going to play out that way. So our young people, you want to protect them, give them really good advice. Just, you know, stay away from it if you're under 21, just because you want to be safe. Yes.
Looking on the recovery side, but marijuana seems laced. Seems like a lot of issues. I have kids with it.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts around just not the marijuana, but what.
Yes. I heard someone say something. Yeah, I heard someone say something that I love. When you're talking to your kids, don't smoke anything you didn't see somebody unwrap. Just like when we drink, you can't walk away from your drink, right? Our parents teach us, we've learned. If your kids are young people are gonna do young people things, they're probably gonna smoke. So advise them. If you didn't see somebody unwrap it, do not do it. And if y'all want to smoke, go find somebody where it's packaged and it's from a dispensary that is legally operating. Because this is a huge issue. Also, there's Delta 8. Delta 8 is naturally occurring in the plant, but it is also added to the plant in certain capacities. It's very, very strong. It's very, very potent. It's very concentrated. So you want to do your research and advise your young people. Yes, you'll be the last one.
Also, educating the individual as well when talking about youth, behavioral changes and lifestyle changes that marijuana use can actually develop, right? Different environments that may attract because of the marijuana use, unhealthy relationships.
Yeah.
Education is definitely going to be important. So it's the compound marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Andrea.
Is there anything that are happening in schools and high schools to give out? It's really important, especially with, around that age group, with peer pressure, the smoking whatever's there or drinking whatever's there.
Yeah. I'm going to finish with this two things. So it has been a dream of mine. I grew up with the DARE program. It's been a dream of mine to go into schools, especially back to school night when parents are there, to talk about, first of all, when you're talking to young people, you want to be intentional and this new phrase, conscious parenting. You want to consciously discuss with them. So how I was raised is no, don't do it. That's not very helpful. But if I'm raised and I say marijuana has this many terpenes, it has this many properties, It has this many chemicals. These are what the chemicals are responsible for. This is how they affect your body. We have an endocannabinoid system in our bodies already. This is how the plant interacts with the endocannabinoid system that we already have. Let's say we're dealing with a person who struggles with anxiety. How does this plant aid you with your anxiety? Is this something that you want? You're their parent or their guardian. What is the maturity level of this child? You want to be informative and educational so that you both can come to a decision where we say, maybe this is it for us right now. You're a little young, whatever. Let's wait, or let's go to a doctor and let's figure out the best way to implement this in our lives if we must. As it pertains to educating, I don't know if this is something we could take on here, but I'd love to find our way into the schools to educate. Yes. No.
I know two senators that I work with. One is in Hudson and one is in Monmouth. I don't know if we can contact them or something. I don't know. But the senator in Hudson got financial literacy like into the school. She brought it before Governor Murphy and got financial literacy into the school. So I have a suggestion. I put it in my notes. I'll send it to you, that we can find a senator who will back us to put your program or what you guys are saying into the schools. They can get it in front of Governor Murphy and he can sign off and say we can do that. So,
Yeah, and piggybacking that, right? YMCA's, Boys and Girls Clubs, anyone that runs after school programming is another avenue.
Green, I know you have some sure connections to school district as well, potentially around some of the education. Sorry.
oh no, I was 8 minutes.
There's other some programs too, and I could get Rich on volunteer community connection.
Oh, okay.
There's grassroots effort going on.
Yeah.
Right. Township.
Yes.
Amazing effort within schools. Youth educating other youth.
Yeah.
So I could pass that out, that there are some real serious grassroots efforts regarding this.
Okay. Okay, that's wonderful. Yes.
On that, that's good. Do we have, and you mentioned finance and financial literacy, do we have training for the youth to go into, like you mentioned earlier, I think to talk about this marijuana, because this is real, this is current, this is what's really impacting our future. I dare say, financial literacy, important, great stuff. But the real of what's going on in our community, right, in our neighborhood, walking the dog, and how do we get into the high schools? Doc mentioned contacting the senators. Do we have knowledge of any agency out here currently that I can tap into?
So let me help us with this, because to manage that, no, thank you for that. That's a great suggestion. I think some of this conversation we can have in our breakout groups. Let's be more efficient with the time. But what I want to do is invert, before I let you go real quick, to invert the schedule just a little bit, because I know some people have to leave at 12. So what I'm going to ask before we break into the groups is for quick announcements. So I don't want people to leave the room and not get an opportunity to plug what they need to plug quickly. No, that's fine. No, that's we started late. So, but we want to be respectful of everybody's time. Is there any other thing you want to add to this real quick?
Just the last thing, we're going to be at the community college on Monday, the 10th, doing another expungement clinic. So it'll be 2 days back to back. So if you miss one, come to the 11th. If you can't come Tuesday, come Monday. Okay. And we'll be there processing expungements. My email is on the form. We're all here. We can find each other's numbers. So call me if you need anything. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So we do have a few things on the screen here. I know you mentioned the return and restore expungement cleanup coming up on June 11th, but we also have MRC Path Forward coming up on the 10th, the day before, same location. Does anybody want to say anything about that real quick? Just special. So Mercer Path Forward is coming up on the 10th. We also have, again, as I said, June 11th, and then June 17th, we have another expungement clinic, but not in Trenton, but I think in Ewing, right? At the probably at the office of the Mercer County Office Park in Ewing. So that's going to be coming up on the 17th, and that's for all of them are from 1 to 7. For the return and restore, that's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I think Jenna Porter, your office is helping with this as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So that's happening. Tomorrow there is a walk, a Wear Orange Walk and Community Day. Tony, do you want to plug that real quick? That's I know the Trenton Street team.
Yeah, that Trenton's Salvation Social Justice Trenton Store Street Team. That's a part of this. It's Tesca Frisbee, Councilwoman in Trenton. It's thing. It's going to be a walk, but beyond the walk, the walk is 9 to 10.
9 to 10, okay.
But beyond that, yeah, 10 o'clock community day. So it's going to be out in Catwalk in the Park. A bunch of activities. Last I saw, she was talking to the speaker of the House to come out there and talk. But so it'll be a number of dignitaries and stuff talking about the issues. This is an extension of an appearance that the New Jersey Moms Demand did a couple of weeks ago, walked to the State House and lobbied legislators. So expect to go.
Yes, ma'am.
Romeo United Mercer Interfaith Organization is going to remember those who have died due to that violence.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will be part of the program.
Part of the program as well. And then on June 11th as well, this actually came from the Four Seas email distribution. There is a police chaplain conference here as well in I believe in Trenton. And that's for those who are part of that, you want to be a part of that. I think this is important, obviously, to support this effort as well.
Everybody's welcome to that, even though it says chat. Everybody's welcome.
So
Yes, ma'am.
there's-
Yes, ma'am.
The city has for 10 weeks block parties, and so
Okay.
Westminster is partnering with the city.
Got it.
That's a great opportunity for those of us that want to reach the grassroots folks.
Yes, ma'am.
To call up the office and say, can I table there?
Okay.
It's not officially what they do, but when you tell them that's what you would like to do
They
in
accommodate.
partnership, they always say yes.
Dr. Bronson, do you want to plug your conference coming up in July?
Okay, so, the Mission Conference 24 is all about like collaborative development, and so we bring businesses and professionals together. But we're sponsoring, those who have been impacted by the social justice system to foster professional development and leadership and entrepreneurship. So we're looking to sponsor about 50 individuals total. Right now, between Workwell, you gotta give me a number.
I got 9, please.
All right, so before I leave, I need to get the information of how many you had and put them together. And we also would like you to come.
Shay's gonna be there speaking on the panel. Rowan from Keene, he's coming. He's gonna be. So we encourage you to come, and I'll give you the I 12th and 13th. I'm gonna go to the car and get the cards, and then I'll give them out before you guys go.
And we'll put Progress Center.
Yeah, what is that? Because Terry wants us to go to files. Oh, you got some. Thank God. It's more in the car. It's more in the car, so it'll be what?
Right on West Street.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. My daughter graduated.
Where and they have some other training. They have a solar panel training as well coming up, I think, in August. So they have other training as well. So if there's anything, I think that's something we wanted to stress. You have any events coming up, please let us know in advance so we can plug it and we can send it out. And we need to promote those as well, because we always, one of the things we try to do is hunt for like events, and we try to put our eyes everywhere. I want to thank Tony. Tony does a good job. He's like, hey man, did you see this? You know, and we need that because sometimes we miss things in accounting. And so it's important for us to want to help promote some of those events so we can get people there to be able to do that. I'll give Josh an opportunity to plug that the why. You want to talk about that again?
Sure. I'm sorry, I have to go. There were two things that went to speed on. One,
Girls Club of America, it has a big push on trauma informed, how we train our staff, and we provide a lot of that. Right. We're now serving, we made a push that's recently serving people 19 to 24. A lot of workforce development that goes into that side of things for very intentional reasons that everyone here understands. So there may be a way to piggyback some of the resources that Boys and Girls Club of America just on teaching strategies on trauma informed, how we bring that into the system beforehand, where they're some of the bringing out some of the things that are not preparing them for a job so much, but on the psychological side, recognizing it that way. So the other thing is we've talked a few different times. I know connecting with legislators. We obviously had Anthony Pirelli in here who's trying to push this legislation. Shay's going to share a link after the meeting from YUSA. And YUSA has a great platform for advocating on behalf of legislation. So he'll share it afterwards, but this might be, anyone can actually join that and you'll see what they have as their legislative priorities. And then you can click on it. It'll recognize where you were. It'll draft the letter automatically to Cory Booker and to Senator Menendez. And then, next thing you know, we have 400 people in one day that advocated on behalf of one specific thing. So I think this organization could look into either soliciting YUSA for the opportunity to add for one of their legislative priorities for this so that we can share that and they can see it, or how this group can collectively try to find a way to identify, our own platform or a platform that we could piggyback.
This is excellent. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I said before, the Office of Returning Citizens, and one of the things we do, in addition to going into the prisons, we also sponsor people with justice involved backgrounds that facilitate workshops for that community. So on Saturday, June the 15th and the 22nd, we have, and I have a flyer, and I'll send it out to you.
Please.
We're offering workforce development workshops for people that are returning into the community. We have that. We're partnering with Andre Thomas with that. We have Mr. Juan, he had mentioned it before. He's also offering anger management at Mercer County Community College on Wednesday evenings, twice a month, to returning citizens. And then on June the 26th, at our office at 509 Perry Street, we're offering a financial literacy workshop. That's facilitated by the Magnificent Men Mentoring Group. We also will be offering a forklift training session that we instituted. It's classroom and campus. So we'll be sending more information out about that and then conversations to identify additional trainings for that population. So
that's excellent. Yeah. Please send that over so we can share that. Thanks. And you had something to share? Yes, sir.
Announcing the workshop. I think it's very important that we understand that these things are actually happening in our communities. I know one of the main struggles is basically, I think, like we said earlier before, Ms. Jeanette, is getting people to attend, right? And again, I just want to continue to echo that these things can't happen alone. So when you have the ability to share your network or your population of people, please do so, because if many do little, not many have to do a lot, right? Yes, yes. When it comes to the schools, I don't want to backtrack, but I definitely want to put this information out there. The Empowerment House was awarded a small grant through the Trenton Community Street Teams, IOS, and another organization. I'm sorry that I can get it off the top of my head, but we were able to enter the schools. We was actually at Holland J Middle School at West Trenton, where we was able to educate over 40 students, bilingual and English speaking individuals. And the experience that I've gotten there is that number one is needed, and number two, once you actually get these guys' attention, they're very interested. Right. And I believe that I definitely want to find a way to get to the Trent Boys Club. I know Reggie Coleman from off. He's actually on my list to visit. And before you leave, I can give you some information on that, because I believe that we must interrupt the learned behaviors that are being taught not only in the community but also in the household, with some healthy ones. Right. So I'm all for that. And like Ms. Jeanette Porter says, she's been a blessing to our organization of giving us the opportunity to reach our mission with the population. But I know I definitely want to get a contact. I think we all should be in contact with Department of Correction and State Parole. I do have, I've been blessed to have a meeting actually with Lieutenant Hubbs next Tuesday. So I will be bringing that information to him as well and see how we can open up some of these barriers and doors so this reentry coalition can actually be effective. Thank you.
Good job, man.
jailstojobs.org. And they have a jailstojobs.org. They have a newsletter. It comes with a lot of articles. They have a workbook that you can request a copy of. In fact, I gave Jeanette a copy. They also have a program to put these books in the correctional institutions. And it's quite interesting. And it's a good resource. And hey, it's free.
Actually, go ahead. We're gonna come back to Mary real quick. Yes, ma'am.
I think we would be remiss if we did not give our amiga some time just to share some thoughts, words of encouragement. The work that you're doing is essential. Anything you can encourage us to do would be appreciated to hear from you. Valisha.
Well, thank you, but that's not where I thought you were going with that.
Setting you up.
Well, I must say, I am full. My cup runneth over in this room, and ideas are just spilling out all over the place. So much so that I'm like, wait a minute, what capacity are you in here, right? But what I do want to say is, number one, what we're looking at is really not just building community, but preserving it, sustaining it, And when we talk about our young people, I know what it is to work with, returning adults. I myself am one. But when we're talking about our children, that's a different language. And so to be able to have discussions around how we can prevent incarceration, that's when we have our Boys and Girls Clubs and all of our other youth organizations, our 100 Black men organizations. This is when we can start looping in those discussions around cannabis, right? And to be able to say, listen, we know what it looks like now for individuals who are struggling after making mistakes. But what we want to do is make sure that you are equipped and armed with everything you need, information, learning, right? To be able to move forward. We shouldn't be talking about expungements 50 years from now. That's where I'm going with this, right? But what I do want to say just on like a state level, when we're talking about returning citizens, keep in mind that not everyone who went inside went in without any sort of career prior to or education. So when we're talking about jobs, think about the audience. Who are you looking for a job for? Was this person already a PhD? I don't think they would, want to do anything outside of their norm. So let's start thinking around the audience. We have people who are quite brilliant, and let's respect that and uplift that. So when we think about jobs, when we think about housing, when we think about those supports, when individuals are returning home, many of them have never had a home. The only home that they knew was inside. For some individuals, returning back and forth through the county jail is their salvation. But when we're talking about social justice, we have to really break the chain of how individuals are thinking about themselves. And it's usually reflective in how their community treats them and receives them. So you're already preparing the nest. And so I'm looking forward to the work that's going to come from this group.
Amen.
Before I give Mary opportunity to share really quickly about her findings, I want to acknowledge Rowan King. Welcome.
Lower. Yes. Okay. Thank you everyone for having me. I apologize for being late, but it's been a while. I've been looking to be at this table. I see some familiar faces that we've connected. So I'm just here to learn how King can be a part of this. I know we're up north in Union, but we're working all for 7 counties. Mercer being one of the most highly anticipated areas for change. So, we just have a plan, right? We're not looking to change anything. We just want to be a part of what's going on here. So we have a reentry focus right now, and we have another bigger component that's going alongside this. So I'm just here to join the team and let's see how we can work this together.
Sorry. I'm gonna have Mary just plug this for about 2 or 3 minutes, hear a little bit about what she's been doing with this survey that she's been working hard on to help us with, the free relief work.
Okay, this is very non-scientific. What we did is we created a survey on SurveyMonkey and had people who said that they were previously incarcerated take it. And it's like 5 or 6 questions. And it's basically, where were you? Were you offered pre-release services? Did you take advantage of them? What did you think of them? And did you have any comments? So to update you, so far we've had 28 people take the survey, 22 males, 6 females. 15 of them were in New Jersey prisons, 13 were incarcerated elsewhere. Of those who participated in New Jersey's pre-release programs, the lowest rating was slightly helpful. Nobody said that they were not helpful at all. The majority rated the programs moderately helpful, helpful, or very helpful. So now this is our audience. These are the people, we're hearing from our clients, which, it's one thing for us to sit around these tables and say, oh, this is what they need. This is what they need. We can do some of that, but then we need to check with them. It's like, what do you really need? So the survey is showing that pre-release programs do work. They are appreciated. Some of the comments, and I just have 4 of them here. One person wrote, you have to make sure that people are following through with it. Most things you have to do on your own. Also need help with housing, which we all know. Many people are wandering around to find a place to stay. That definitely needs to be worked on. So, it's not anything we don't already know, but it confirms what we know. Programs need to be done a lot sooner prior to release. There needs to be a link between the DOC and companies to hire ex-offenders prior to their release. And another comment was, keep going with the programs. As long as you keep it going, it will improve. And the last comment was, help people with Megan's Law case, which I find that that's probably the most, one of the most difficult clients to find work for us if they've got a Megan's Law conviction. But that just goes to show that successful release begins before release. Successful reintegration begins before release. And what I'm hearing from clients is the county jail is severely lacking in any kind of pre-release program. And maybe that's where we can start here in Mercer County, working with the jail and not complicating it, but helping them do a bit, pre-release. And what I've found is the workbook, putting something in somebody's hand that they can start like recording their employment experience, start focusing on their to-do list. Okay, do I need housing? What are the things that I need as opposed to what somebody else would need? And then having a section of resources. Oh, I need housing. Here are some places I can go. Oh, I need drug help with addiction. Here are some people I can call. Employment, here are some people I can call. And getting it in their hands soon enough, prior to release, not the day before, but maybe 30 days prior to that. But it's an informal survey, but it reinforces the fact that there are programs available. They do work. They are appreciated, and they're very much needed.
Years ago, Mercer County had a book, and I think I have a copy of the book. It was a purple book that did exactly what you said. And it was county specific.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And the book that I was involved, I was in Riverside County, California, the jails there, and I co-authored a workbook. Now, is it the best workbook? No, but it was something. And there were places for people to write their employment information and start thinking about, okay, these are the questions I'm going to be asked. There was information about expungement, the basics that you talked about. Okay, this is the process. Resources, the one stop, so that they had something in their hand, because face it, they got time on their hands. And then they could take it to the one stop, and the one stop would recognize it and go, oh, you're getting prepared. Let's sit down. Let's do you a resume. Now let's, focus on employment and other resources. But it could be designed so that each county could pick it up and then customize the back pages. That the front part stays the same, and customize the back pages so that Burlington County, and I'm not from around here. I don't know a whole lot about geography, but I do know there's a Burlington County and there's Mercer County.
2 out of 21.
Here's what I want to do. We started at least 30 minutes late, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I think we're on the 12 right now. So there's two things I'm going to ask of the group. There's a lot of great conversations we're having right now, and I don't want to stop that momentum. So we're going to break into those groups, and I'm asking for 30 minutes. If you need to leave, please, you could leave. We'll share notes with you. But because I think the information and the conversations we're having is so rich, I want us to be able to capture some of that for the next 30 minutes, if you will permit us to do that. But anyone that needs to leave because obviously you have other things going on, we definitely love that you came today. We appreciate you. We're going to share notes with you after this time. And that will be my major request. But before Pastor Karen walks out the door, I'm going to do something else we usually do at the end. We're going to take a quick group picture, and then we're going to break into our groups. Anybody needs to do that? Picture right here. Yes.
And I always end up on the front row because
I need everybody right here.
Desir to be in front.
Oh, no. We're actually
just the university.
yeah, right on the.
Cool.
What's wrong with Canada? You know, that's my business card.
No, that's all right. No, I never heard you later. That's what we fictionally call it. I've been having lunch with him on.
Picture, please. Right here. We have a conversation, but right here.
Social justice related issue. I don't know if this is really big.
What's the YMCA?
Dr. John.
We have possible one.
Oh, Dr. John.
Yeah.
Please, picture, please. Him while you're escaping. Come on. I need you in the picture.
No.
What? Okay.
Make sure you don't hide the picture. I want to see your face. Get in there, get in there. I just know.
Vertically challenged.
All right, are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
We gotta see reentry next time. We're gonna say reentry this time around. Come on now, let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. One more. We got one more. You wanna do it? Come here.
I'll take it. You get it. You get it.
I got the glove.
I want to get the.
Yeah.
Let me get that in there. Hold on. All right. One more. One more. It's too close. Second goal. Sorry. There we go. All right. Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, for those who are staying, reintegration on this side.
Have somebody send that right
Right there now.
Hey, Andrea.
Scan that. There you go.
What's up, sir?
Release it right here.
Thank you for the work.
Anyone to the left? Really? Re-release on the side. And then you guys,
My response.
I also want to make sure everyone. If you haven't registered for your attendance, please scan the QR code so you can be on our mailing list. Even if you are already, we still want you to kind of get your information if you were here today. Scan and fill out the form, please. Thank you. Yeah, you can just scan that, and then we have it around the room as well.
He put papers on the tables.
All right, let's break into the group. Time for those who are staying. Please over here, reintegration.
Pre-release.
On the side.
I think I'm.
Please
Pre-release.
Okay. On that side, reintegration into the middle.
That person is certified in the state.
So I have been aware. So what I have, what if, I ask this question, what if I haven't?
Are you gonna hang around or are you gonna cut?
I'm gonna stay for the 30 minutes.
Okay.
I had it blocked out for 2 hours, but if they're only gonna keep me for 30 more minutes, I can handle
I
that.
got certified.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I had it articulated right in front of the group. It used to be, there's no organization.
I wrote that down when you was talking about that,
Yeah,
I had to, yeah, they got the, they just got certified, and I had to go to the lot. Real.
Only one I'm like, I'm a full
With the class.
follower, so. I was like, okay.
I just gave us the text. I gave it to me. So we could go over it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
But
helpful.
she is our person.
I left for a minute, came back, I said, so how everybody doing? Everybody bad. So now I'm looking for a way to get to the other part. So what can I do?
There's another partner that's doing this. I don't know if they're doing it.
Let's get into the groups, please. I don't break on this.
They do it for you. Citizens, I have to contact her, just see if they would. offer that. What's your direct
No, remember from the last. But all the young ladies.
Job interview.
That's today.
Our stuff, yeah. Yeah. I'm just sending to you.
You ready? You ready? All right. All right, re-release. So re-release and reintegration. Any questions? Right there.
Now I'm in. Grabbing rice. Why not?
There you go. I know that. It's kind of like terrible. Re-release and reintegration. From there, on each group to discuss, and then any other questions that you have, we're going to started. I'm going to be a fast. Jeanette is going to be one in court.
Andre. Sorry, one more thing. Well. But so.
All right. You guys ready? Okay.
This is the.
This is reintegration. Reintegration is right here. So those are your questions on the extreme right.
So let's talk to.
Right?
Sorry, then I would say.
That worked.
That's fine. It's good. Good. Yeah. It's good. It's great.
Is this the, which one do we have here?
Yeah.
Pre-release.
Pre-release. Yeah. You're over there. You're released. Please, please let Jeanette. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ready, Mary? Okay, Mary, those are your questions. Right on the left. And I have,
Integration?
Yes.
Integration.
We're
at-
Okay, excellent.
Circle the way.
Release.
That's right. All right, so. So you guys. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're in the middle. Mary, you gonna be no take? Oh, you gonna take?
Who else is going to join release?
Release.
Anyone interested in release?
I'll give you guys a clock.
Yeah. Tony staying?
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure that you guys know.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I'm moving on. Then he went up.
So we're trying to rewrite the.
Yeah, right. James, you staying? Or are you leaving? Really good. I'm gonna head back to Long.
I haven't, this is release, right? Yeah, I haven't.
I'm not going to.
I feel like I want to do something big and I don't want to call homecoming. That's the name of it, where we do something really big. Where we have like a whole event.
Yeah, you can ride with me. I'll leave soon though, but I'll let you know. Yeah. Okay.
It's from out of Camden. They do a
Release.
nonprofit that does that.
Release services.
And they do a big immersive camp, but they focus on Camden. They do a.
It's actually extended. So it's TJI.
Yeah.
But now you have to return it. That's the Ortiz brother. That's, and they cover the entire state along with Kansas, so it's. But now we also have Mcrc at the gate as well.
Meet her at the gate, yeah.
Which is partnered for the women.
Oh, meet her at the gate. Oh, okay,
So
that's
what they
different.
do is, when it's not like a pet rabbit, but.
We can move it, we can move it.
Yes.
So the first.
Hey, can I hand you this?
We had- The first question we had.
Wait a minute.
I said to reintegration. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's the same, it's similar. They're pre-release.
That's right. Okay.
Come on, pre-release.
Okay, so.
Why did we leave us?
Because I don't think you.
You can stay here, yeah, you can stay here.
Support services like what we're saying.
If you stay here, you can't create a. Gotta be nice, see?
A body question, right? So.
Okay, so what makes us our essentials to over the sort of I want to how they change but if they're we're definitely.
I think. Emotional intelligence. Here. Right, so. Release. But if I'm in an environment.
And child care.
How do we,
So on the premise of what you just said. Back out of it, right? It's afraid of the case, right? Where right now is the actual beliefs up here. Do is first of all identify if they had that, all right? And if they have, they're our organizations, we have ball shot. We have a counselor as well, a psychologist actually there at the ball shop. So that's one way, where you're trying to deal with that mental health component, because our organization is a referral for counseling. You have a guy, for example, he's a good example. he came home, and he said, one of the things I'm sharing, right, in my capacity as kids was that they tried to, what's the Floyd? They tried to Floyd, what's the guy? Yeah, George Floyd. He said they tried to George Floyd, in prison. He did about 7 years, right? I mean, they tried to kill him in whatever way, but he was traumatized by it. He was very traumatized by it to this day. And he right now. Continue to die because it's just too overwhelming because of his mental issues. So now the focus had to shift to his. That's very sick. So, guys. Comes out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right now, when it know what the main but each person needs something. And so we want to look at the gaps in the need. So I could have been someone who served 15, 20, 30 years. So what I've done is this do some sort of evaluation for you to because individuals develop anxiety things they never figured out and shared it. Someone can drop their keys and oh my goodness, you know, so I would want somebody else specific the other things we do, they have some sort of programs and they're finding that you know, right now it's just so and whatever it is, missed the opportunity to work with but even before that realization I'm realizing we're taking advantage of sort of and hard. Right now, there are ideas. So the woman that was sitting there coming to the side during the that huge child is still in another area. And you know, it's kind of more than they and that's counter. I need to actually. So they use exactly. And it doesn't say yes.
Tenacre
Successful, you know, there are some people who down the track day, using that now that I've seen in the rooms right now, that you can, there's a bunch of then we can convert buildings. I've been shocked. And it was a bunch of
if I may,
and as there's people who realize.
And the lease is a jail. Jail.
This I can't even.
Very return citizens. And it's also very local. We're unfairly compared to New York City, which has 9 million people. It's large, it's as large as the state. It's very compact, mass transit, and social service. We don't, we're spread out.
small, almost south, very small, the most urbanized, the most spread. You can be going back to Sparta, New Jersey, you can go to Sussex County, Gloucester County, sections of Salem County. I think, you know, that literally no one has access to. They don't even have access to.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying here is that the release has got to be not just in general, short term. It has to be very individualized. It has to be very localized. You got to, you can't expect that language going back to Salem. He's going to have access to the same resources. The other thing though, is that you have to bifurcate the resolution to max out. Finish their set. Out, the drawbridge closes over the river. They're just letting loose in the communities. Nobody, they're obligated to no one, and no one's obligated to them. But that's wrong. Police should be an opportunity and also and by state, local county that's absorbed. Non-max out there, which is an obligation.
Oh, I do that. I do that in my program.
But realistically speaking, those persons at least have a resource that will provide housing. Subsidies. But max out.
But I'm gonna write the service. Very intelligent. Importance is down, and I think pretty much is able to. I was very good.
And start to get it done. Start to be, you know.
There's something called science. It's how why a SEC test. This test.
I'm gonna say, spell that again for me.
Gives you
and that's a good point. Recognizing that. I want to make sure that we take the steps different to get but then also, you're just saying, you know, and now but if I don't
work with the house that's coming up. So with that,
so now I understand what I'm about to experience.
I use it. Right. That's what it's understanding. But I'm going to create it. I had a little there. Those are participants. I don't use the one. In mate, they were mates. Like it makes INN. More function, such as with Cyrus, the psychiatric center. Those that reside there are considered individuals. So understand if we keep using that same language, what we did was pushing as opposed to let us use the way we talk. How did you come back home? How did this at your home? How did you get it? What should I do now? Well, before you let's make sure you get what you want. And I think that's not necessarily so that you can understand that there's some reason for
Salem County, no support. At the border, very southernmost border of Delaware.
See, there's no support. So what can we do there?
I I was just gonna say, exactly.
So most, let us help so they don't receive it. Right, so they do stay home and give a chance. That's success. I don't know the happiness. I think you go there hundreds. But I know if I don't try, then I know zero change, right? So I would offer something right set. That's part of the leadership.
See, what are the burdensome events that will always repeat? Stigmatized with criminal justice. It's part of the criminal justice. It should be treated as all responsibility of the Department of Affairs, social services. We send notifications to the chiefs of police, county prosecutors. We don't send those same release information to county social services. And if we're not mandated, to do it, we're not. And the only way you're gonna find out is if they actually have enough of their own individual motivation to show up at social services. Expecting you to right. What would happen if you file piece of information of it, return to citizen to the county social services, so they have a file. The jail, that population goes through so quickly. I'm not saying that it's actually part of their working with the secret. We have years, at least, and history. And when we start we do much of the back. I don't believe in action. Supervision. So all of us and individuals can
Well, true. So it's like, even if you, so it's not so much keeping it on the phone, it's knowing, right, to your point, it's training someone, so it's like, this is. Yeah, but I think, you know, so if there's a QR code, if there's should be the place where Mary should be able to be able to, so I can organize what you need. You know how I organize it. So, that just the fact that I can gather the information, I don't work. So we could just gather somebody about to, I can't always work out, so let's say yeah, so they were over at MCRC. In the name of MCRC.
Help us get to showing this right? What's the percentage of those kids who leave get into this world? So returning. If that's not prepared, then what we did was just create a ghost, like a ghost. You did this, when you want to look at things. That's how
outside of this. So, so every nonprofit, they really want to protect, you're I can start looking at it. Hey, we need another 10, and it's double, 10 at a time. So this time of year, I want some time of year, we're collecting. I think you're saying.
I can keep up. So they don't have So that's what it's getting at. Like, so things like so the point is to train yourself.
Let's start wrapping it up. Keep on going, keep on going.
Just shoot them off. And then
Also, patience helps to develop. One respect. We appreciate it, understand that was taken away from you. There has to be patience in doing it. Everybody's not going to do
there's one place it's called, I think it's called I am really they sell kids. So they take all the kids and then they sell those to those people for $5. If y'all got somebody else,
And there's a document. You said earlier. And there's all
Gives me a training.
How do we get more second chance?
That's the New York. Yeah, but it's 17 that you can work, so give them something.
We have somebody in I don't have any local superstars next to the house. They're even got to see it.
They don't put them. Not put burden on.
I provided you with most of the county. And DC.
I'm talking about legal. I'm not talking about.
And they usually have them under mission statement.
I'm talking about. Exactly. I'm talking about like,
They're probably still they don't advertise.
When they say.
States, they gotta get money.
And I have a. Teach it type of thing.
I like your sorry.
Yeah, like that, that's what I'm saying, okay, so now they over here.
No.
They took the whole.
Comes.
Remember when the Black Lives Matter came out? But I'm saying.
It's not probably returning citizens in general. They're probably providing.
They're not gonna do anything.
Returning citizens, constituents, family members of our service.
Yeah.
No, me.
I was about to start with a whole nother list. And selfishly, that's also a need. Education in the fringe of I currently wrote, we got our entrance panels in New York.
Say, you know, therefore, that's what
Every Thursday night.
Yeah.
One of the things that you have to overcome starting here is actually all those major incentives for loans, democratic or something, we're all something that can be. Trenton has so few voters that even though it's our capital city, it has. So they have nothing. The city itself has no budget, no national, no Jews, and there's no resources, there's no tax. It's taxable variables, but on real estate. To get that increase, they have a person around us in the city, lieu of taxes, the rate of it. Other state capitals go out. I can't all of it. It's stupid. People that bring people to advocacy groups to produce like conversation. Because the people that run those take things that they're saying to be responsible. How do you get that? They listen to people.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Just real quick point, in your groups, you keep on talking, but we want to think about potential next steps. So I know there's a lot of great ideas we talked about. What is the next step for us in your particular group? Because there potentially what and committees can come out of that. So it's good that we talk about a lot of things. We're going to summarize a lot of those things, but what are the next steps for you? Like, what are we going to do a month from now, a week from now? With the information we talked about. So if we can bring that together, that'll help us feel like that.
The next steps actually we should take them when we are. I want to get
Whatever that jumps.
It's like, I don't know. You have to give them legitimate from big screens, no smartphones. Oh, yeah. It's back to your flip phone. People used to go back to. So we're talking about people who never had that. They never integrated technology into their lives. So who's going to be right? It's not like they're not going to get a cell phone. Parole's not going to get a cell phone.
So Josh was talking about, I think we have some sort of landing page. Yeah, so that we can tag with social media. But instead of say like some sort of landing page, you can see every event that's online and start putting everything. So we live in Michigan County, they have the Lakewood City. It's and anything that goes on in Lakewood is a and my husband be like, "Hey, you see?"
Yeah. And what was the plan there?
You remember years ago when we did this work?
I see what you're saying too. Kind of language. Share it.
And have access to. Smart. Have a location.
Some people are text. Like text, like simple text or something like integration app. So we can put it out.
Get some of the little pieces.
Oh, that's true. Wait, so wait, tell me exactly,
To understand what it is. Who was it, Mrs. Jackson had, he was talking to Dick Tracy, you know, talking. You just saw AI.
Siri, sometimes Siri's like, noise. Not show too big. I'd rather go to the
yeah.
right? So I think we've got another, all of them, all of them. Share. Like I yelled out. Maybe one time. I don't know what that was like, but we're not going to put the same top here. This is an example.
That's where you see all.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, let's say, it's really go after.
What problem? No, so you'll reentry was really.
Oh, very.
Yeah, they actually was run by TCNJ. TCNJ had almost like.
I think if we try to cover so much, it's just.
That doesn't exist now.
Yeah, we overextended, we really have some good time, we're all.
Technology is a killer. They can't access it, they don't understand it.
They can't think past that. Another thing I think we didn't touch on, and that would be transportation. So I've been on process, so you can see it not a bunch of okay, so all right. So when I took any higher places where they go, I am a service to find out what's that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, we don't. So they supply. So that.
That's correct. Now they have a platform, they. You're right, actually, that one person out there, that, right? And that's all. So now, thank you. Yeah. You already have. Yeah. Is it possible?
It makes me think of the Harvard guys.
What's the show? Previous because Connor stopped and TCMJ. Is it a possibility that people here are able to make connections to the Benson's or the county executives to try and work with some of the community affairs issue.
So I put it as a standard
You need to be sustainable.
So anytime I take the facial, get a reference sheet of everybody. I have a protocol, there's a standard protocol there. I don't know all the time.
Well, I mean, it's worth, yeah, I mean, don't sell yourself short. It's worth a lot right now. Just getting this, but you know, where's it gonna go? Where will it be? You know,
Yeah, represent.
Find out, we need to clearly define what our standard is.
if you have a relative. Should turn out.
Yeah, that's a good conversation. So, right, because they get stuff, especially. Still designates. Again, trust is an ass, but it's better than we saw our shade. I'm still missing. Say he was silly. But yeah, that's.
You know what I'm saying? It's Mercer's now. We're very much, the first time I talked to Dan, stuff like this, right? His first thing was presentation. His big thing is presentation. And it's Rose County executives, school, just down jail. My guys, but he's trying to, wants to do it, as long as that effort is there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, as long as that effort and his inclination, he wants to be able to say, oh, but it's a process, you know what I'm saying? So, there's a grant that I brought to Theo's attention, I just showed it him, but
trying to get it through salvation social justice, which specifically speaks to getting into the county jail. It's $4 million. Getting it and allowing you to the agency. No, I don't mention it to other people. I didn't mention that shit. Yeah, that's one, right? But specifically with respect to the county jail, and that's what, and they're offering that as well. So, all this meeting, no, all that stuff that we submitted in July. So they're working on those grants now. The thing that, we have the Trenton Housing next week, and about $50 million. We, as a social agency, would be better than my because we're connected with social trends. But promote the good news. Mary's survey that says the EOC is doing a great job, at least a satisfactory job. Pre-release education and training prior to them coming out. To promote the good news. That's a survey that was done. Because really, you need 10 good stories on Shepherd. And so even just that one survey and to hear good news in a group like this, I don't care where the other people came from that didn't say it. People from New Jersey, said, hey, this is
So it's good conversation. Great conversation. So as we close out, I'm not going to ask you to detail what you spoke about in your groups because great conversations, notes being taken, so we're going to share those. But what we would like to see is what are the next steps and maybe 2 highlights from your group. 2, no more than 2, and then next steps from your group. So we'll start with pre-release. Before you free out of here, yes.
Our next step is to talk to the jail.
So this is pre-release?
Pre-release. The next step is we need to get into the jail and work with the jail administration on a pre-release program for the county inmates. They do a pretty good job in the prison, but the jail needs some help.
And your workbook, would that be one of the things?
Yes.
Okay.
Talk to them about a workbook. We've talked about videos, creating videos that they can show if they have closed circuit TV. So creating some videos, creating a workbook to put it in their hands and encouraging them to pay attention and do their homework before they get out.
I know you guys, Leslie, if you could follow us on LinkedIn or Facebook, that would be great. Scan that. Reintegration. I'm going to work backwards here. What's your next steps? And
you said just 2, right, Shay?
Yep, 2.
So because she said about getting into the jails, I'll go over that. I won't go over that one. We said to create within this group like a social media group, like maybe a Facebook group or a LinkedIn, something that we could all stay like connected. And then I'm going to talk about a research study. So coming up with like a research study so that we can gather the data, code it, and narrow down where we need to go deep instead of being so broad in all of what we do. Like maybe us as a coalition find that deep. So
thank you.
So I don't know. So in terms of next steps, just talking as a group, we realize how many resources there are that we each other doesn't know about. So the importance of sharing, just one very basic one, a shout out to Mary, free bus passes until you get your first paycheck. So if one of the clients gets, or one of your participants gets a job, they can get bus passes from Tenacre Soup Kitchen. And we were curious, is that a grant or did you apply for funding to do that? Ah, interesting. Okay.
That's all.
How they do it, that's.
It happens. So we take advantage of that. We send our people to you for that. Yep.
Popeye's chicken on Monday at 1 o'clock. I can give you bus ticket to get from here
Wait
to
till
there
the
and back. Once you get a job, tell me when your first paycheck is, and I can get you bus tickets for a week or two to get you to and from.
Yep.
Then you're on your own.
Yep. Yep. But that's key because sometimes even that amount of money is not available. So to have a resource, and we all need to know about that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not much. Don't have a job, don't have
Zero.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah. So that was our main next steps. And then in terms of resources, I mean, our main takeaway is each person we serve is unique and we have to understand each individual on their terms and find out what their needs are so we can best serve them. And of course, we all know the very extensive list of needs that exist for our clients and participants.
And this is just the beginning parts of this conversation. We're going to have more breakout sessions like this and give more time because I think this is that, I mean, we can exhaust the conversation, but I think it's also important for us to begin to narrow down what our action plans, possibly are. And so I think those are great ideas and things in terms of seeing how we can, from these work groups, think about ways we can take on specific projects to further the bigger conversations, right? So we'll definitely put this in the notes. And when we come back together again, we'll definitely have opportunities to have some more breakout sessions. Our next community meeting like this will be in September. And part of that is because summer is coming up, people are on vacation. So we want to give people 2 months off. That doesn't mean we're not still active. That doesn't mean we're still not communicating. If you have anything you want us to get out there, we'll definitely continue to do that. But we're coming back together in September with hopes of having Dan Benson here with us for that next meeting. We're not going to be in this location. We're going to be back in Trenton for that meeting. Yes. Yes, there will be minutes. Basically, the notes that we've taken from each group, there'll be minutes from that, and there'll be a general minute for all of this as well. And the minutes from last time as well will include that as well, so you can have access to those. Yes, ma'am.
We're all busy. Special clients who needed expungement, the link to the application is on the back of the first document. Just forward it along. Like it is questions that I may not know. Send them to me to satisfy about. So don't overload yourself. Just send them my way. Okay?
I encourage, let's just continue to have the conversations. You have people's cards. Let's keep it going and continue to stay connected. Scan our QR codes here to stay connected with us, right on LinkedIn and Facebook. And make sure that you sign up for the attendance so we can keep you on our mailing list. But I want to thank everyone. Yes, sir.
Will this attendees from today be made available to?
It will be, yes, it will be. We always do that, yeah.
The second, if we have opportunity for those that can't make it,
Yes, sir.
is there a possibility of getting it on Zoom or something that we can get there? We have people registered, so we don't have an issue. And then we can use, I mentioned earlier, something called Read AI. So now it can transcribe the information because we all got things with multitasking. And if we can't make it, we can at least make it available. Oh, I missed it. I can see where we are.
Yeah.
And it just makes it so much easier
Yeah.
for all.
Yeah.
So
No,
I wonder if you can do that.
we can do that. And Tony can tell you that like our minutes are very detailed. So it's not just like summaries, like we actually kind of go line by line, like a transcript from the meeting. So, and we use AI to do that. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, and I saw that. That's one of the reasons why we're using AI Companion today. And that's why we're gonna link more into what you got, some more better AI.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, and it summarizes it.
Summarizes for you, yeah.
And you can queue it, you can still.
Yeah.
So that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this day, you might as well take, use it.
So yeah, we will send out detailed, what do you call it, minutes. Usually give us at least maybe a week and a half to gather everything, because it's not just, we have to compile a lot of information and synthesize it in a way that makes sense for everyone. But we'll definitely get you the list of the people that came today with the contacts, so you can have that at the advantage, and then have the minutes, detailed minutes.
Put all that in the repository so that we can extrapolate it if we need it for
Sure.
when we're able to.
So
everybody's counting on different roles, different.
10
o'clock at night.
Yeah, so one of the things that we are building right now is a website. And the website will be storing some of our notes. We're very strategic at how we're using Google to kind of like collect our data. So anything we're doing with forms, data, so we're collecting, we have it in a very organized place. So we know what's going on. And at any time we can make that available to the members of the coalition. So that's definitely, but those are really good points. And we're going to continue to do that. I get that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we may want to leverage, especially when you're about Google Analytics, things like that. If we decided to do stuff outside, even more, right? Be able to utilize those analytics. Sounds like you already have a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The other thing is, the future, but like our organization, like 300,000 goes on the cloud storage. There's no reason why from a nonprofit standpoint, you guys put big money to a platform, you know, it's just down the road.
Yeah, down the road. Yeah.
Just thinking down.
Yeah, down the road. So
we have a little AI companion for these here.
That's right.
So
yeah. We're leaning on the AI companion for Zoom right now, but we're definitely yeah. But I saw your thing, so we're definitely gonna. Hey, look, there's a lot of resources in here, and we're definitely want to put people within the ranks to help us with some of those things. So thank you all so much.